You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live. Just saying, featuring conversations on love, sex, and relationships from three sassy ladies. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, Just Saying.
Good evening. Welcome to Just Saying. I'm Diann Valentine. I am your host tonight. It is Friday night. Thank you for joining your three favorite girlfriends for another happy hour conversation. Let me introduce you once again to my amazing co-host, the gorgeous Mrs. April Daniels.
Hey, everybody.
And next to April, our resident Black Barbie doll, Miss Jennifer Williams.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to another show. Tonight is going to be, let's just say, an interesting topic. You know, we all been in love. We all been in that relationship stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Well, this is going to be a good one because we're going to talk about what happens when it don't work and then the other person acts a damn fool. But before we jump into that, since it is Friday night, I want to know, what is our cocktail tonight?
Yes, what is it?
Well, tonight we are drinking the Horny Bull. I think we made this because of me.
Love the name.
Shout out to Tony's Tequila for sponsoring us and hooking us up with this Horny Bull. And if you want to know what's in the Horny Bull, just check out our website at justsayingshow.com, and we have the recipe and all the ingredients so you can make one and sip a cocktail with us while we talk shit.
Right?
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers. Cheers, ladies. I just love our Friday nights.
Yes. I love the cocktail.
Oh, that's good.
Tropical.
Nice. Simple but
Yay,
good.
Horny Bull.
Simple but good.
Well,
Yes, as you all know, it is time for Just Heard.
just heard. So I have some really cute stuff to share with you. How about there's a 4-year-old little girl named Kinley Goertler out of Camas, Washington. And she started a campaign. 4 years old. And it's called Girl Cops Are Awesome.
Oh, so cute.
I know. That was my
So
reaction
cute.
too. And it all stemmed from going costume shopping for Halloween. Halloween's coming up. She wanted to be a cop. And they searched high and low through the store, and all they could find was SWAT. And on the plastic, it said boys costume. And she's like, wait, I don't know if I want this. And her mom said she really was discouraged. So she posted on her Facebook page and said, Girl Cops Are Awesome. And then it just took a life of its own. So now it's gotten attention from 50 states, 5 countries. And she's collecting patches from different female officers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a little movement.
Wait, and how old is she?
4 years old.
So cute.
Yes.
And
So-
who has a Facebook page?
Well, her mother
mom.
did, but
Oh,
she started
got
it
it.
on there,
Okay.
and now it's bringing awareness to the fact that there are female officers,
Right.
but why aren't there costumes at Halloween time? Something small, but still, I
Right.
commend a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, she's
Right.
really going with this thing, and the police department in Vancouver, Washington, set up her first organized event.
What?
Yes, she found I might cross paths with you with my
This
rock out.
4-year-old is
Wow.
doing big things.
Yeah, she most definitely is. So I think we should definitely applaud her because that was just, that just melt my
Kinley?
heart. Kinley.
Kinley, Kinley, we are
Yes.
proud of you, girl.
Kinley, you rock.
Yes.
You are a rock star.
Yeah.
Girl cops are awesome.
And I love that because we all know it's some bad cops out there.
Right.
But everybody ain't bad.
Yes.
So I
Right.
love that story.
Yes.
I love that
And that
story.
was one of the
It
points her
returns
mother-
humanity, to, police officers.
Yes.
Good.
So that was
Because they've been getting a bad rep.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
They have. But that was our all moment. Now to the juicy stuff. So
Yes.
did you guys hear last week that Russell Wilson bought a mansion, waterfront mansion?
sure did.
$6.7 million.
You
Don't
better
he need
work,
an interior
Tiara.
designer? Don't he need an interior designer?
Everyone is suspecting this is the marital home that him and Sierra will share.
Wait, they need a wedding planner and an interior designer.
Exactly.
So Diann, you might want to, let them know where this could be found.
Hello, Sierra. Atlanta. It's time for some California hookup.
Yes.
Oh
They
my
said
God.
that the home is beautiful, 7 bedrooms, I believe it is, and it's like 3 miles from Bill Gates, and
Oh.
so very beautiful home.
Life ain't bad
Yes.
up in
Go
Seattle.
Yeah,
see.
Seattle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really, really like those two together. I
do
think they are
too.
so
There's
cute.
like America's favorite couple.
I do too. I know.
I love them together.
I just think it's not that they just have good chemistry, but I love that like they upgrade each other.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
she gives him a
One
little
another.
something, and then he gives her a little something
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I love that. Love that.
2 stars. If you tuned in to last week's show,
Well.
you'll know what I was talking about.
Let's just say I ain't gonna predict no problems with nobody.
Well, they got Jesus in their life.
Yeah,
Right.
You can't lose with him.
That could be the saving grace. That could be the saving grace. All right, ladies. Well, let us jump into our show. So tonight we are talking about if I can't have you, nobody will.
Dun, 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 dun.
We know
shit
that we
crazy.
all or everybody has had some degree of a fatal attraction. So
Lord.
sometimes they just cannot let that good thing go. You know them cookies, you know that milkshake that brought them to the yard.
My milkshake brings to the place to the yard.
Right. They want a doggy bag. So, ladies, segment 1, I've moved on. Why haven't you? So, there is a great movie that came out last week. I hope you all had a chance to see it, called The Perfect Guy, with Sanaa Lathan, that fine old Michael Ealy. Dang, he fine. And Morris Chestnut, who is fine too, right? This is all
Damn
about
you,
black
Sanaa.
men, right? So in The Perfect Guy, in this movie, Sanaa's character breaks up with her boyfriend, who is Morris Chestnut, and he's not ready to get married. So then she starts dating somebody else. She meets Michael Ealy. You know, he's like amazing. He's the perfect guy. He's successful. He's handsome. All these things.
Crazy.
And
Right.
ultimately finds
When
out
it's
he
too
is
good to be
psycho,
true.
right?
It normally is.
So, have either of you had a problem with someone who didn't want to let go? If so, what was the problem?
I definitely have had some cycles in my life. I remember this one guy I was dating. First of all, he showed up to my house unannounced. I don't play that. I don't care if we're dating or whatever. Just like give me a heads up. You could be 5 minutes away, but don't just like
Come without calling.
yeah, I don't play that. But anyway, we broke up and he was like, well, you're not going to be able to date anybody in New York for 6 months. And I'm like,
What was this at?
why 6 months? I mean, why not a year? Why not 2 months? Like, what?
And the whole state of New York?
Yes, like he literally was like, I will kill that motherfucker. And I'm like, you're crazy. Leave me alone. Like, it was to the point where I was like, I want to move. Like, I didn't even want to
Wow.
live in my building. And I lived with a doorman and all that, but because they knew him, they would just like
Let him up?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Wow.
So wait, did you not date for 6 months?
I mean, no, I wasn't dating anybody. I think I had probably already started dating someone.
Pick them up and put them down.
But I wasn't like dating anybody seriously, but it was just like comical to me. Like, you can't be serious.
See, that can't be comical. Because if he that crazy,
Right.
you got to
Right.
you got to
No,
trust
he
what
actually
he's
was.
saying.
He
It's
was.
true.
I remember he came to my house once when he came unannounced, and he was like knocking on my door, but then like, you know, like going away from the peephole so I couldn't see who it was. Yeah, and I was like, yo, like, who the hell is at my door? So then finally he's like, it's me, open up. And he came in and he was like arguing with me like about some stupid shit. And I'm like, why are you coming to my house unannounced? And then he would be like crazy arguing, and he would look down at my feet and he'd be like, you wearing white toenail polish? You know I love white toenail polish. And I was like, oh, hell no. I remember
so
my best
glad
friend was
you
there.
were crazy, too.
She was like, oh, no.
Wait, how did you meet him?
Listen, it's a long story.
At the nail salon?
I say it wasn't at Whole Foods.
In Malibu.
No, right. This one sending me to Ralph's.
Wait a minute, Jen. Okay. I'm just gonna ask, is this the crazy one I met in New York? Yeah. We had lunch together. I knew it was his ass. I knew it was his ass.
You knew he was crazy?
psycho. He looked like a convict. I was like, have a seat. Join us for lunch.
I'm going to exit now.
Yes, I'm not.
Oh my God! So now, what was it that you thought was crazy about him? Because clearly our girl didn't see the crazy till a little bit later.
Make some bad decisions sometimes.
She always make bad decisions. Okay, so first of all, he did look like a convict. So he was like bald and he was like really buff, So I was like,
like he been bench pressing.
like damn, like, are you working out or you training? Like, you're about to do some time. You need to buff up.
You can't be stronger than you and crazy, Jennifer.
Oh God, I can't.
So I was like, okay, all right, cool, got it. And then he just seemed like, you know how some men are like very attentive and others are just kind of controlling. And I just felt like he was that. He was very pushy, like, you ready? Or come on, let's go. Or no, don't do that. No, order this. And, just little stuff like, he was like, no, you doing the next wedding. We already got it worked out. And I was like, I just met you, fool.
Well, Jennifer, have you talked to him recently?
Hell no.
Maybe you want to send him a message.
No, bye, Felicia. That's my message. Bye.
Well, he might be watching Just Saying, so let us just say goodbye and move on. Now, there is someone else that we all know and love who's having a tough time saying goodbye. Bless his heart. Chris Brown and Karrueche Tran. He just cannot let her go. But what is, I think, the saddest part of it, because everybody's had heartbreak, everybody's not wanted to let it go at one point or another.
Aww.
But he just is so public with his desperation to not let it go. Why?
I think a lot of the aftermath now too is the company he keeps, because a lot of times they say stuff first and then it's kind of like once it's out there then you can't really look like the punk, so you gotta kind of stand by it, and so I think it's been more of that. I think now he's kind of getting the message, it seems, because he's now dating. So good
for you, Chris.
Yeah.
But I feel like even when he is dating, he still feels like Karrueche is his, and like nobody could like, I think recently, I think it was this or maybe last week, something with him in the game, and the game started following. The game doesn't follow anybody, and he started following Karrueche. And Chris Brown had a huge problem with that, or like said something to him. Or, these social media beefs are like a joke to me.
But no, it was the friend. It was the friend that said something.
Okay.
Yeah, so again,
the entourage.
Right, because then he can't.
Right, and then it was the friend with Tyson Beckford, and then he had to come behind that. And so, I think with all that's gone on in his life recently, he needs to find a new circle of friends.
Yeah, he does.
I think that's safe to say. But I will say, I think he's now in a place to really appreciate a relationship since his daughter. Yeah, I think certain responsibilities make you zone into certain things that you may have taken for granted in the past.
Well,
because you can't. One thing, he has stepped up to the plate with this child. So we know it's in him to do the right thing when he needs to do the right thing. It's just that, before that, I think regardless how you look at Chris Brown in a relationship is always going to be with a really close lens because of his past relationship.
Yeah. But I will say that parenthood absolutely changes people.
Yes.
I have just seen it change men for very short periods of time. So I'm going to refrain from commenting until that beautiful little girl gets 5 years old before I say he's such a great daddy.
Oh, that's not nice. You got to say he's doing a great job.
He is doing a great job.
But just that's it. Don't take it away. Don't take it away. We're going to wait. We're going to check back with you when she's 5 and get the rest of the story.
I'm just saying.
Also said last show, once a woman beat her, always a...
I'm just saying, look.
But in his defense, Karrueche has not talked about him hitting on her.
Okay.
He's done other things in the relationship, but she has not said it's been abuse,
okay, and I still believe once an abuser, always an abuser. But you know what? I will say that I have probably gained a soft spot in my heart for Chris Brown because just the other night I was watching something on BET. It was like the life of, I guess it's a new like almost like an unsung thing that they're doing, profiling artists, and it was on Chris Brown, and it was such a good show and a good story. And they showed his performance at the BET Awards in 2010 where he did a tribute to Michael Jackson, but he had been cut out of the previous one that they did, but they called him and he did this one, and he ended his medley with Man in the Mirror, and he was crying so much trying to sing it. He couldn't even sing the song. I was just like, wow. Bless his heart.
He had you.
Bless his heart, young man. I know. No, it was really sweet.
It's a great guy.
I do enjoy redemption stories, and I do believe in certain instances people do deserve second chances. I'm definitely not a fan of women beaters.
Right.
But I just think he's special. He's special.
Yeah.
He's special.
I think everybody deserves a second, a third, a fourth chance because we all make mistakes. But I just don't believe that everybody gets rehabilitated.
This is true.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But I do love you, Chris. Now speaking of Chris and Karrueche, they had a very heated Instagram exchange.
Yeah.
I just want to know,
I hate that.
Does social media make it so much harder for you to break up and then just move on?
It does.
Well, Chris, why you want to do that?
Because don't act like you ain't. Don't. Like, come on, give a little credit where some credit is due.
I have said all this and more, but not publicly.
I understand that, but sometimes people start feeling and smelling themselves just a little too much, and they need just a little reality check because they forgot all the great things about a person. And I just think, and none of us was there, but I know it's been times where people get in the emotions, they say what they want to say, but also there's a time when people want to forget the hand that fed you.
Okay.
So, I'm a true advocate of like, you can feel how you want to feel, but bow out gracefully.
Okay.
Like, don't do this.
But this was his post. It wasn't hers. So this was his post. This was her response. Once you find strength within yourself, it's hard to allow any type of BS around you.
That's nice of her, but before this post, there was other posts where she felt like she wanted to say what was on her mind about the relationship and speak in an ill fashion. I'm just saying, whatever happened, y'all not here together anymore.
They both wrong.
Right.
I know,
they both wrong.
I'm not go.
They
like,
both wrong.
I'm tired of hearing about the both of them.
Yeah.
Like,
but let's not act like all the little bit of attention she's getting now
isn't because of him.
Oh no, she has come up big time. No, she got upgraded.
We know that, but that wasn't the point I was going to make. I think she's enjoying the guys that's now all like, ooh, Karrueche, not to take anything away from her. She's a beautiful girl, but at the end of the day, when you a little hurt, because she was hurt in the situation.
Of course.
I'm sure this is kind of probably giving her a little like, I was surprised. You may not thought so or treated me like one.
Yeah, but so I said that too. Didn't we all say that when we broke up with a fool? Didn't we say, fool, you missed out on this?
Exactly.
You left the good cookies on the table.
The difference was that fool probably didn't play a hand in setting us up the way we are today.
Well, he set me up all right, but
when to come back, you trying
I'm still trying to get rid of that STD. Oh my gosh. All right, let's move on, ladies. Get off of Chris Brown. We love you, Chris. You're incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Just keep singing and dancing. And
stay focused.
Yes.
Keep up alive.
Get you a regular girl. Well, he did kind of get a regular girl, huh? Okay. Maybe try Asian girl. Oh, wait. She was Asian. Oh,
we're moving on.
Okay. Chris, I'm going to get out your business, basically. All right. So, oftentimes, we make permanent decisions with a temporary man. Now, what on God Green's planet makes us do that?
Love.
It's still the question of the day. So, what about if the breakup leaves you scarred for life? And I'm not just talking about a tattoo, but that seems to be the case with singer Neo. He's getting lots of backlash because he recently posted a photo of him and his now fiance or his now
Future
girlfriend,
baby mama.
fiance, wife, I'm not sure what she is, but they posted this photo, fiance, basically announcing that they were expecting, you know, and he got a lot of harsh comments about that because everybody watched the show that Monietta was on, and so everybody knows that she, you know, shared that she had tied her tubes because they discussed it. They were getting married and they were going to not have any more children.
Right.
You know, and so now he is, bless his heart, with his new love. Well, he's moved on with. So,
that is some
what I
shady
want to know
shit.
is it Monietta's fault that she can't have any more children?
No.
I don't think it's her fault because she was in this relationship with him. She's thinking they're getting married, and she's thinking
They had
that's
kids.
her happily ever after.
Right.
She has 2 kids with him, and I don't know what type of bullshit he sold her. But
It was
That-
crazy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I mean, I'm just baffled by the whole story.
Yeah. I think, you know, it's like, at what point are you safe? This was my fiance, the father of my
Right,
2 kids.
right.
Like, what more did I have to actually wait till we got married to say now I can trust him to tie my tubes?
Look at here.
You know, like,
I'm just gonna break it on down for you. Look at
some
here.
bullshit.
Look, the point is, it is her body,
Right.
And I think women they fall in love and they just start doing too much. You know, your spouse, your even your spouse does not necessarily need to be the sum total of your entire existence. If you know deep inside, I love kids. You know, maybe I might want to have another baby. Why can't you do a long-term birth control? And it's a conversation that you all discuss later.
but I have to, you know, play devil's advocate here because I hear what you're saying, and I understand, but she thought this was her future.
Yeah, we always think.
Right,
it's
and I
forever.
think in fairness, she was positioned in the situation far enough that we all thought that wife was going to be our future.
But look, how many people have gotten married and gotten divorced?
Right.
Right? So we always anticipate, we always believe, we always say that this is
Right.
it, love is forever. And sometimes life throws us a curveball. And all I'm saying is, as women, we need to be smart. Like, we need to take responsibility for ourselves, for our bodies, for the decisions that we make that affect us.
And for her to be so, how old is she?
I don't know.
I think she's like in her
30 or
30s.
Probably 30s.
I don't know, but I feel
But
like
that's such a major decision to make at such a young age.
Such a young age. Exactly.
I mean, it's not like that's
I
don't.
hear y'all, but she had 2 kids with her supposedly husband, and even though she had them burned, you can't get it turned around, reversed once you do that.
Right.
But I think that, you know, maybe at that point she was happy, she was satisfied. I don't need more kids. We have these 2 beautiful children. We're moving on to now getting married and whatnot. So
But
I don't
see,
think.
Yeah, but you always got to plan for that what
yes.
if. You always have to plan for that rainy
That's
day.
why I believe in prenups.
That's crazy.
That rainy day.
That's
Like, it's not
crazy.
always sunshine.
It's not crazy.
It's
But I
not
It
always
is.
sunshine.
I don't think when it comes to having kids that you should have a what if. I just think that if you're in a place and you're building a family with somebody, I'm not going to say, well, I know we engaged to be married, we having 2 kids, but nigga, I don't trust you, so I'm going to make sure I don't burn my tubes. I'm just going to tie them and
No,
then
No, because you can
no one
compare
thinks
that.
like that.
You can compare that to a
Well, y'all too,
prenup.
Mike.
You can compare that to a prenup. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not thinking like negative, but it's planning.
Yes, absolutely.
I hear that, but I think if you have to result in planning in that area of your union, there's something definitely flawed about your union to begin with.
But no, because this is truly the point. This is what the point is. If I would feel differently if Monietta made the decision, got her tubes tied, and now she's like, I'm good. I got my 2 babies. I knew I didn't want no more kids, whether I was with Neo or not. But you know, I remember watching the scene, and I remember her being sad. In fact, I think she was even crying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there was obviously some regret in the decision she made, even though she admitted, yes, we made the decision together. And so that is my point. It's one thing to say, I don't want any more kids. It's another thing to say, I'm going to get my tubes tied because me and my fiance decided we're not going to have any more kids, knowing in the back of your mind that you love children so much. Because now you look dumb. Now you look like you a victim, and I don't believe in that victim stuff.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the emotion was because she's not with the man that she thought she was going to have her future with.
I mean,
more so than the fact that she burned.
She meets a man she falls in love with, and she can't have no kids.
Exactly.
For what? And he clearly got him a new baby. Bless his heart. Now look. Let's just say this. He didn't want no kids either. He didn't want any more kids either. But apparently it's okay for him to change his mind.
Well.
Come on.
No, I'm just
Preacher,
saying,
come on, evangelist.
We don't know if they were planning to have a baby together. We don't know
listen,
that.
when you run up in a chick raw dog and you come at her, it's a strong possibility that you might have. Listen,
it's a possibility for everything when you're having sex, but we can't just look at this and say that he planned this pregnancy and this is what he wanted to do, because we don't have that information.
But he said, I've moved on. What was I expected to do? Not to continue to live my life. And he is obviously happy about the baby, and he should be. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Every person who has a baby should be happy when they find out they are expecting. So
yeah,
I'm just saying, I just want to know. Well, I already know how you feel. Jennifer, do you think Neo is a joke because of his Instagram response to the criticism he got?
I'm going to sip my tea, which is water.
Is he a joke? Is he a jerk? I mean, really?
I mean, I just think it's like
Where's
real.
that Instagram
I think it's real asshole to him. Like, I think he needs to be.
He went in on this fan. Now, granted, she didn't have no reason commenting on his personal life, but you put it out there.
Public.
You make it public.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's sort of an asshole move.
Right.
I think it's an asshole move.
Mrs. Daniels.
I mean,
it totally is. At the end of the day, like, it was no regard for Monetta, and
right, and that's the mother of your two kids. Like, it's just
do what you want to do, but do it tastefully. That's all.
There's a way to do everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the fact, and then I think her post was she just wrote her on and put a picture up, and I'm sure she is her. We as women hurt for her.
I'm hurt for her, right?
But I just feel like if you could put in this response, you and her are good, him and Em are good,
right?
Then treat her good. That's all.
Yeah, but I just don't know. I don't know how you can be, perturbed about this one, and Chris and Carucci can just gallivant, and it's perfectly fine for them.
Don't come for me.
Double standard.
I'll just say it. We're all a work in progress, and I'm just going to make sure that I bite my tongue, because I know the Lord is doing a great thing in Chris Brown.
So, do you think that Neo may be getting just a little taste of some karma?
I don't know what he's doing. It's upsetting. It's upsetting.
It really is.
I wish him all the best. Not that he needs it from me with him and Crystal, but just as a woman with kids,
I feel for her.
With a child by a man I'm no longer with, there should always be a respect for the baby mother when she's doing a darn good job.
Right. And
That's
sorry,
a soft spot for me.
I really think it should always be respect for the ex.
Period.
Like this. Period. Like you shouldn't have to.
And all bets off. But I'm just saying, like, you have women who are these kids. They not going to sleep hungry. They not getting a good education. They not showing up at school. Like, there's no problems there. When you lay your head down every night, you know your kids is okay.
Right.
Do you know it's a lot of parents out there that are worried to death because of the hands that are taking care of their kids, and they can't do nothing but go through the system and try to correct it or not correct it at all. And I think that it's just like the respect factor is just kind of like null and void. Like,
but let me ask you
ain't
this:
doing none of this,
right? But just think about this, because he really was not bashing his ex. He was simply celebrating a moment in his life.
Yes, that I still think, out of respect, he should have had a conversation with her, because she's hurt. Producer lady over there. She wouldn't be so hurt. No, she wouldn't be publicly doing what she's doing. If I had the respect of you coming to me, and I'm just my opinion, and you telling me, listen, this is what I'm doing, out of respect, I wanted you to hear from my mouth. This is what it is. I don't want you, like, just give a little something.
Well,
there,
the fiance, or whatever the hell she is, said that she knew about the situation from months ago. I mean, I don't know.
So then it wasn't a surprise. So then we mad at him because he shared it? Or we mad because of the way he responded to the fan?
I'm mad because he didn't use warm and fuzzy as a route to deliver his news. It just seems to the public, we don't know what went on behind closed doors, but it was very harsh, very like, I don't give a cahoots about you. This is my new chapter and I'm gonna live it.
That's true. That's true. All right. So basically, I ain't buying another Miss Independent record. I'm just gonna have to ride that one I got. All right, ladies. So sometimes you just got to let them know, I don't fuck with you.
I don't fuck with you.
So let's talk about maintaining ties when the relationship is over.
No, bye, Felicia.
Do you cut off the entire family when the relationship is over?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Let me tell you, when I was done with Eric, I didn't want to see none of his family. Do you remember how evil his mother was?
I do remember her vividly. I do remember.
Good riddance. I don't want no parts of that. Don't send me no goddamn card. I don't want nothing.
You wasn't thinking about me for Christmas when I was with that fool.
Right.
Why all of a sudden you want to send me something for Christmas?
Nah.
Okay, I can get off that. But I have a friend, a really good friend of mine, right? She has now been divorced for 10 years, right? Divorced 10 years. So her husband left her for another chick, and now he has 2 additional children that he had with the first chick, and she is still going to like family reunions and barbecues. And the last time I talked to her, she was upset because she went to the cousin's wedding and she said they were treating me so weird.
You think?
And I'm like, bitch, why are you there? Hello? Well, you know, she was like, but we have a son. I'm like, his ass is 18. How long?
Hell no.
How long are you gonna go to family dinners?
Is she dating someone? Is she married?
No.
She's dating him still.
Right. She's still dating him.
Is she trying to hold it? Is she holding on to?
That is just crazy. I have told her and then she's always upset, and then she's always crying, and they were just so mean to me. I'm like, bitch, you are delusional. You being mean to yourself is the problem.
That's what you gotta say. I don't want to hear no more stories about this topic, because you just don't
You
get
crazy.
it. Yeah,
I mean, when Ryan's father and I broke up, I think the next time I saw the whole family, bless his heart, was at his father's funeral.
Oh, Lord.
I did go to that with Ryan. That was her grandfather. Paid my respects, of course. But there was no kumbaya around nobody's fireplace.
No, listen, the last time I saw Eric's mother was the day I got married. And, like, I don't want to see that bitch ever again.
The day you got married?
Wow.
Yes.
You got married? 6 years? You said that's the last time you saw
The last.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
But she was mean. No, she was mean.
No, listen.
She was mean to Jennifer.
I'm not being in nobody's presence where I gotta feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Kick rocks with bare feet.
She was mean to Jennifer. She was like extra mean. But like I'm gonna have a good memoir one year, y'all. Watch when I get older. Now, April, do you think it's important to? I know how you feel about breakups, but what about, is it important to stay connected if you have a child?
You don't even have to finish it. Absolutely not. I mean, I will say
Y'all baby daddies.
Rough in them 20s. Them decisions in your 20s stay with you for life.
Yes. No, but with that situation, when I said I was done, like it's over, I meant that. Wasn't nothing that within me wanted to hold on to anything about you. Like I sit here sometimes and be like, why did I name my son after his father? I'm like, who told? Why didn't know? But I really was done. I made a conscious decision.
Right.
So if I'm done, I don't need to call your mama. I don't need to call your uncle, your daddy, because I don't need to do any of that. Now, when I see you, I'll be cordial because I'm not ignorant. But we have nothing to talk about. And if there's anything pertaining to our son, That's what your son is for, to make sure you can get whatever you need to get from him, because that's not my responsibility. He doesn't have to make sure my family has a relationship with Omar, so I don't need to make sure his family has a relationship with Omar.
That's a good point. So does his family stay in touch with little Omar? Do they
Not really.
call or visit? Or
No, not really.
Yeah.
The mother, she sometimes calls him, but
Okay.
it's not consistent.
Does he have other kids?
Oh yeah, he did have a daughter, and he got married 2 more times after we broke up. And the daughter was supposed to be born on my son's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Which that's a whole nother show. We'll talk about that,
Right.
because I think you should time things correctly. Because God forbid, same
The
day,
same
2 kids. Yeah. Not the same year. No, just the same day. She was born, I think, like 3 days off. Yeah. So it's a lot that I'm just like, do you think at any point of, like, what day of the week do you think? And then I can have a conversation with you on that day, because your brain is just mush.
I do wonder about the whole like family ties thing, because and in the sense that whose responsibility is it? You know what I mean? Because, as Ryan's mom, obviously I make sure, in fact, she was over at the house the other day and I was like, when's the last time you called your grandfather?
And
pick
I'll
up the
do
phone
that.
and call
Yeah.
him right now.
Yeah.
But, it's like,
But we do that because we know better.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like our mothers taught as well. And
Yes.
I'm all for that, but I'm not going to be the one that says, hi, you want to see your grandson? Well, I'm not doing that, because that's not my responsibility to keep that ball moving so that you can have a healthy relationship. Now, if you come to me, I'll work it out however it needs to be worked out, but I don't think I should be the one that has to put it together, work it out, and make sure the plan follows through.
And I think it's unfair that women are always to blame. Like if your kids don't keep a relationship with your side or whatever, it's always like the woman's fault.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you? Are you retarded now?
Yeah.
Can you not pick up a phone yourself?
Yeah, it was funny. A short story, Omar's grandfather on his father's side. Last time I saw him was when Omar was in the hospital and he stopped breathing. And he called my phone maybe 13 years after that. Yeah, Omar available? I was like, excuse me, this is April's phone. Who is this calling for Omar? This is his grandfather. So I called him by his first name, because I'm like, you've been absent 13 years and you calling with some authority on my phone for my son and claiming grandfather? Grandfather isn't just a title.
He had all that bass in his voice.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, now it makes sense why your son crazy, because you're crazy. Like, I'm like, what in the world? But, I just think it's no entitlement. Just do with your part. Play your part. That's all.
And I think, people will often say kids are better adjusted when they have both parents and families and all that. And yes, there is some truth to that.
Right.
But it also requires two people. It requires a mother and a father.
Two sane people.
To work together to make sure the child is well adjusted. And it pisses me off that women are always to blame.
Yeah.
You know your kid ain't well adjusted. She ain't seen you in how many years? You know she out here making bad decisions.
Well, she talked to me 2 years ago. What?
That is so crazy.
Lord have mercy. Let's get off of the kids quickly. All right. So in an article that Katy Perry did with Vogue magazine, she said that her breakup with then actor Russell Wilson, let's just say she said, I haven't heard from him since he texted me saying he was divorcing me.
That is such a punk ass move. Who does it? See, this is the problem I have with text messages. People think like
funny guy thinks shit's so funny, huh?
Right, that shit is whack. Like, and honestly, it is this generation. Like, people want to text all the goddamn time. Don't want to pick up the phone and have a conversation. I don't want no text relationship. Like, I'm sorry, if you don't have balls to pick up the phone and call me, then I'm good on you. And definitely don't fucking break up with me over no goddamn text, because I ain't get that shit.
Look, I was just gonna say, how do you even know if they got it? Like, you just gonna assume, like, this is crazy.
Lord, that is so crazy.
I mean, that's some real.
That's so disrespectful.
something.
Just really disrespectful,
Yeah, it is.
you know. But, you know, in all fairness, Katy Perry ain't the only one, because there's some other celebrities who got dumped via text. Simon Cowell, Jessica Simpson, Kevin Federline. Well, he ain't really a celebrity, but you know the boy. You know the boy.
dancer.
Yeah, you know the dancer. So, but, I mean, is it now acceptable?
In Hollywood,
No,
yes.
hell no, it's not.
Hollywood.
Listen,
Listen, I'm on a set, but I ain't coming home tonight.
Right.
What is that?
I mean, I think you should have the decency to pick up the phone
Right.
and call someone that you're married to or you're in a relationship with. Like, that's the least you can fucking do. A text is just like,
You can't
Really?
even entertain that. Like, for
Like-
real?
I just want to know, did you really
is it
tell?
140 characters or less? Like, I mean, that shit is ridiculous.
But Jen, I just want to know, when you broke up with Crazy Boy, I hope you texted him. I hope you weren't face to
Oh,
face.
hell no. I picked up the phone and called him. Don't listen. I'm about to block you. So lose my number. No, I needed him to hear my voice.
Oh, okay.
No, this
But
shit is
not
real.
see your face.
Exactly. Not face to face.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So sometimes, ladies, we know that we stay past our expiration date. So
Yes, we do.
So in this little chat, I want you to share if you've stayed in a relationship or if you had a friendship that was longer than it should have been and what you learned from that experience. Jay?
Well, I mean, the crazy dude. I actually did stay in a relationship longer than I should have. One, I think I was just like, oh God, like I want to get out of this, but how do I get out of this without like getting murdered at this point? Like, 'cause this nigga is crazy. Like I had to make sure I had to have my bases covered before I could pull the trigger.
Right.
So
Like,
I definitely
break up with him, please.
I definitely stayed longer
Security?
than yeah. Like sometimes you gotta work certain shit out before you you break up with somebody,
Yeah.
or if you're in a relationship where a dude might be taking care of you, you might want to stack a couple extra chips. Like, it's just certain things
ducks up.
you gotta get like worked out. So I mean, I definitely have done it in that situation. Like I was like, yo, this dude is crazy, so I need to make sure like I'm moving shortly after. Like I had to have it worked out. So I'm absolutely guilty of
All
that.
right.
Now, is that what brought you to LA?
No, No. I moved to a different building.
Okay.
After I broke up with him.
Oh, that was smart. What about you, Mrs. Daniels?
I think I've been in 2 nasty relationships.
Mm-hmm.
One y'all heard about last week. But the other one, oh my gosh, I just think a part of me felt like I could change them.
We
I
always
think that's
that.
really
Yeah.
what it boils down to, because I had all the sense in the world. I knew that when I started seeing things weren't adding up,
Yeah.
I knew.
Yeah.
But it was a part of me that was like, on a good day, he's really a great guy.
Right.
On the days that he's not so great, which is 95% of the time, maybe if I'm patient, I could change him or I could show him. And I think a lot of women get trapped into that mentality of
Yes, we
thinking
do.
that
Yeah.
they can, but you can't. Like
Right.
that comes from within that individual.
Absolutely.
There ain't nothing we could do. You might change their mind that day on something, but that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
It ain't going no further
Yeah.
than that. So
Yeah.
I think, Captain Saberho over here was just thinking, let's save the world.
Yes, you was trying to save everybody, putting houses up and giving out loans. and
Lord, let me tell you something. If I knew what I know now, then
Right.
But
Well,
listen, it made you the woman you are today,
has.
and
Yes.
everything happened for a reason.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think I stayed with Ryan's father probably 4 years, too long, however.
You got somebody else other than him?
all I care about is
What about the drug dealer you was dating? How long you stayed with him?
We don't want to hear nothing else about Ryan's dad. Neither do our viewers. Woo!
I would just say,
I want to hear about Antoine. Ray.
I didn't date
I want to hear about
nobody.
one of them drug dealers from Oakland.
I was jacked up. I was
B-boy.
scarred. I was scarred.
Before you got scarred.
the scars were so damaging.
Who bought you your first designer bag? We want to talk about him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a sweetie.
boy.
Let's talk about him.
He actually was not a drug dealer, thank you. He was really corny.
Okay.
Like, really smart.
Well, we don't want to talk about
really
him.
corny.
The one in between him and Ryan.
Let's just move on, damn it. All right, now let's just talk
I'll
about...
never give up no information.
No, look, let's just move on. Let's just talk about some of the signs that come up when you know you need to get the hell out. All right? They drive past your house at random hours of the night.
Hello. Hi. I've had that.
April, how many drive-bys have you done?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. I was the drive-by.
Driving a getaway car.
Listen, you know when you got that man that be cheating on you, but you just got to bust him before you bust him upside his head. That's the drive-bys I was doing, not that crazy in the bushes stuff.
Okay, I don't know if I believe that, because you was pretty head over heels for everybody you dated.
That's not true.
I never forget. I jumped in my car one day and took a 4-hour drive to Boston on Eric's ass because I thought he was
What? See?
not a plane. I was on 95 north. Like, I'll be there in another 3 hours.
Wow. Well, my cousin helped me cut somebody's tires. Because I was scared. I was
talking about crazy now. I ain't never messed up the man's whip.
No, I was
I thought about it.
I gotta hurt something he care about a whole lot more than me, right? That was always the point. Now look, I wasn't crazy. He was crazy, and that's why I needed to get the hell out. However,
Yes.
if somebody gives you suicide threats, you might want to believe them, and get the hell out.
Yeah, 6 months.
But you know how you get married? I mean, you get in an argument, and they be like, "Girl, I'll kill you."
I believe you. Bye-bye.
Oh yeah.
It ain't no- I ain't got a rebuttal.
the crazy did that. He was like, if I catch you cheating with somebody, I'm gonna fuck you up and him. And I was like, well, I'm sorry. Are you like? I was like, couldn't even get the words. I'm like,
Like violently?
I have questions. Hold on.
See, she better than me, because I would have been like, so I live in Alaska now. You know it's a little colder there, but believe him. She told me I just moved to a new building.
All right. Crazy. So you start finding random gifts. You done broke up and all of a sudden just random gifts start showing up. That's a sign. Get the hell out.
Well, what are the gifts though?
No, Jennifer. She like, you know, this is real nice.
All right. Maybe he didn't
go together.
Maybe he really ain't a convict. He just looked like one. Maybe he just looked like one, you know? All right. So if somebody says, I'll show you,
I believe him.
Show me what?
Remember Ike Turner and What's Love Got to Do with it?
Yeah,
Anime?
No. Eat the cake, anime.
Yeah. Believe them. Listen, if they gonna tell you they crazy, believe them.
Hell yeah.
Okay, now here is a good one. When somebody tells you, I'm not crazy.
You definitely crazy.
You are definitely crazy. If you even gotta say that is a sign that you are crazy.
Agreed.
A crazy one.
I'm not crazy. I'm just emotional about how I feel. I'm just passionate about it.
Okay.
That's another word for crazy.
So, ladies, what would you say is some of the ways you can get out when you got a crazy one?
Train, plane,
Listen, move. You gotta move.
the SWAT team. Listen, you just got, like, don't second guess it. If you even got a little inkling that somebody, believe it. Don't play with it. If you gotta relocate, if you gotta go into hiding, if you gotta get a restraining order, don't play with it. Like, for real. We laughing and we having fun because we have had personal situations that, you know, turned out to be funny at the end, but all of them don't end that way sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it's best that the moment you feel in doubt, trust it and act on it. Don't be like, oh, well, it's uncomfortable, but I'm gonna go meet him next week. He wanted to meet, and then next thing you know, you're on the milk carton.
See, and that's why I always say, once a domestic abuser, always a domestic abuser. You hit me one time, we got to go. It's over.
But it's not even just
Agreed.
domestic.
But
it
that's
could
a
be
big one.
Emotional, physical,
Right.
That's a
mental.
big one.
It is, but I'm just saying, if he's sitting there calling you names,
You had
he
a
ain't put a
broken
hand
nose,
on
that
you,
ain't
bro.
gonna work.
Sitting to the left a little bit more than it usually do. No, but seriously, like, abuse comes in all different types.
Yes,
So
it
don't
does.
just think, well, he ain't hit me, but he calling you all kind of dirty bees every day.
Right.
That's abuse.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so you should definitely take heed to the behavior the pattern of the behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So know if you got a crazy one or not at home with you. And if you do, flee, my child. Flee very fast. For real. Flee.
Well, speaking of crazy ones, it is football season. And men get out of hand during football season.
The football players.
If you guys out there, if you want to take your hand at winning a big pot chunk of change, you can win up to $2 million by trusting your ability to call some of the next games coming up. So go to DraftKings.com, use the promo code GEEK, and you can play for the first time for free. All right? Now, if you win something, I need y'all to come on. Remember us, because we told you about it. Right? Break us on off. Just break us on off.
And we don't want no
Bands
ones.
make her dance. Bands make her dance.
So Jennifer, in our search for you for Prince Charming, we promise you we are going to do background checks.
Yes.
Please.
Medical.
Medical records. We
Yes.
want the medical records.
Yes.
If he got a baby mama, that's okay. We just want to talk to her.
Right.
wanna talk to
Because
her.
I don't need no crazy
No.
bitches at my door.
We don't mind kids, but we need to talk to the mother of them kids, because
Right.
either he
Yes.
might be crazy or she might be crazy.
Either
No.
one.
Either
Two
one.
crazies, no mix.
And they can't be under 5. Like, I'm serious.
Why?
We can't do that, because if we find a really Mr. Wonderful and they got a kid who's 3,
I'm gonna tell you why. Because a lot of times, like when the kid is young, it's a strong possibility that they will get back with the baby mama.
girl, let me tell you something. I left and he was 4 weeks old and I ain't never looked back. Okay, don't you believe that?
I do think
Don't
that is
believe that.
common though. When the kids are young,
Yes.
yeah, because
They spend so much time together.
yeah, and then they use the kids as like a pawn.
Yeah.
No,
Not you.
all cases.
No,
I'm
not
saying
you.
Not all cases.
Yeah, not all
No,
cases.
you know.
There's situations out there when they done, and it is what it is, and they've both moved on. You just got to make sure she's moved on too.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's the
She
one
at
thing that we
home
never know.
Googling you all day long.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, stalking my Instagram. I can't.
And your followers are real vocal, graphic. They real graphic and they stuff. And don't you guys forget that we are looking for Jennifer's Prince Charming.
Yes.
We are planning to do a live show. That's right, a live show of Just Saying. We will have details coming up in the coming months, but we want you guys to know that we are looking for the perfect guy for her, because she is so bad at finding him herself. So you can tweet us, you can email us at
Officiallyjustsaying.com.
there you no.
I mean, at gmail.com. Yes.
Officially just saying at gmail.com with any recommendations for our girl here.
Yes.
No.
And serious submissions only.
Right.
Please don't send us no foolishness.
Please, and don't send no pictures of stuff we don't
Yeah, we
want to
don't-
see.
no.
We don't want to see your booty.
No, we
and
want a
other
bio,
stuff.
short bio,
Yeah.
headshot, and medical records.
Yeah. All right, ladies. Now, before we wrap this up, got to get the medical records. Before we wrap this up, ladies, why don't you all give our viewers one last piece of advice of what to do when you have discovered you are in love with a crazy, and then tell them how they can stay in touch with you.
I say run first.
Right. I'm like,
Yes, just don't look back. Full steam ahead. Just get out of there. And you can keep up with me across all, y'all thought I was playing, social media platforms at I am April Daniels.
listen, when the dude is crazy, you gotta believe him, and you gotta get
Absolutely.
the hell out of there. Like, it's nothing else to talk about. It's done. It's over, because you might end up 6 feet under. Like, these dudes are really crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you got to take that serious. So, just get out. Like, that's my best advice. Like, get out. And you could keep up with me on Instagram at JenniferWilliams17 and on Twitter at I am Jennifer.
And ladies, I would tell you that when you find yourself in a crazy relationship, I think the crazy ones are also incredibly manipulative. And so they do a job on you before they reveal their full level of craziness. So I think they also attempt to isolate you from the women in your life, from your girlfriends, from your mother, from your mama, from your sisters. So I would say talk to somebody, share with somebody. Don't feel embarrassed. If you're in a situation that you think that this dude could really be, a killer, or it may be as simple as he slapped me. Like, talk to somebody, share with somebody, because there is strength in numbers. So you can keep up with me at Diann Valentine, and don't forget to follow us at Just Saying Show _ on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you for joining us. We love you guys. We love your support, and we love the feedback. See you next week. Good night.
Bye.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.